Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am your Muse Traci and I am your favorite manifestation coach. I am here to inspire you and empower you to live the life of your dreams, to create on purpose exactly what you want in all areas of your life, to stop settling and to stop suffering. You are not here to suffer. If that sounds good to you, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I offer one-on-one coaching, and I am now offering group coaching to help you transform and revolutionize your life in all areas. In my coaching program, we take a deep dive into your subconscious programming or your belief system, and we do the work to change the programming that is effectively covering up or masking your true nature. I will take you through the process of cleaning up your programming. We meet 2 to 3 times a week, and in between those sessions, you have your own homework to do on your own. You will also have email access to me in between the sessions. And so it is a lot of hand holding and a lot of, it's an intensive month. It's an intensive month of work, but I designed it that way, and it is designed to create real transformation in every area of your life and return you back to your true nature of being an effortless and unlimited creator. Most of my clients will stay with me in coaching 2 to 3 months to integrate everything that I'm teaching them. And some want to stay longer, some stay shorter. It's always just up to you and your preference and the amount of support that you want. If you're interested in learning more about the coaching programs, leave me a comment down below. You can also send me an email and I will get back to you there as well. I also just released a free mini course explaining why and how manifesting a specific person is absolutely possible. It's not just possible. You are already doing it all the time with everyone already. So if you're still questioning, is it possible? Is it working? Can I do it? How does it work? If you're questioning anything like that, then I highly recommend this free course for you. And the course, I designed it so it helps to solidify your understandings of these fundamentals, so you can at least stop questioning that part. You can at least just accept, okay, yes, this is possible. I know that this is what I'm already doing. And so now I'm just going to learn to do it according to my preference, according to what I would prefer to experience with this person and with any other person, right? Really everything is a specific person manifestation, really. Even if it's money, job, whatever it is, you're manifesting a specific person. All right, you guys, so go and check out the mini course if you're interested, and let's get into the topic for today. So today I want to talk about the mistakes, manifestation mistakes to avoid in order to be successful with your manifestation. So these are sort of my tips to avoid. I'm going to go over 3 common mistakes, the most common mistakes that I see with my clients, even with people just commenting on the videos. And I intend that this is helpful for you so that you can look and see if you are also making one of these mistakes, and you can actually stop doing that. So I'm going to also talk about how to stop making these mistakes, what to do instead, basically. So yes, these are the top 3 manifestation mistakes that I see people making that keep them stuck. You're never stuck, by the way. You're always manifesting. You can't turn it off. It's not like it's either working or not working. No, it's always working. But when we think we're stuck, it's that we keep manifesting what we don't want or what we don't prefer, what we don't actually prefer. And then we think that we're stuck. But really what's happening is that we, as the operant power, as the one and only creative force in our reality, are still creating the unwanted thing, circumstance, event, person, version of a person. So that's what's going on when we think we're stuck. So the first mistake is that you're still referencing what is. You're still, more consistently, more dominantly focused on what is showing up in your 3D reality more than you're referencing what you prefer to experience. So this is a very common thing that I see with people who are manifesting a specific person. They're still very much focused on what is in their current reality or what has been, and they keep referencing that version of that person. The person is not showing up, the person is still not choosing them, the person is maybe even rejecting them, the person is maybe not talking to them, they're ghosting them. So they keep referencing that version, that situation, that circumstance, more than they're referencing their preference. The preference would be SP is choosing me, the specific person is showing up, they're always, talking to me, we're in constant communication. So rather than referencing what they prefer to experience, which isn't present in their 3D reality, they struggle to keep referencing that because they're constantly going back to what is in the 3D reality. Very common mistake. Leave me a comment down below if you find yourself doing this as well. So there's a couple things going on here. First and foremost, that's just a bad habit. I mean, before you know about law of assumption, this is what we did. We just reference what's there. Okay, what's there? I'll think about that. What's there? I'll dominantly think about that. I'll spend some time thinking about what I want, but mostly I'll think about that. So on some level, it's still just a habit, right? That's one thing going on. It may also be that you don't fully have your belief system that 3D reality is old and you don't have to keep focusing on it to solve a problem, that you get to focus on the solution to solve your problem, right? The way to solve a problem is focus on the solution, focus on your preference, focus on the preferred version rather than going and focusing on the old version, the unpreferred version. So those are some reasons why we do this. It can also just be that maybe the old version is just too much in your face and you need a break from it, because when something is just constantly is showing up, it is hard to keep going back. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can, but maybe you need to take a break so that you have the space and the capacity to live in your consciousness, to dwell upon something different, right? I think this is one of the lesser explanations. I think the first one that I talked about, where we tend to forget and we tend to think that 3D reality is real and we have to keep focusing on it to solve the problem, I think that's more commonly the mindset and what is tripping people up, right? And not fully having the belief system integrated that I get to just choose what I want, focus on it, hold it in my consciousness, and that will show up in my reality because that's all that's going on. I think that's more dominantly a cause for referencing what is in your 3D reality more than you're referencing your preference. But I'm throwing in the third one because that is something that I see sometimes. People have, and this is what I see sometimes when there's a third party and the third party is constantly, there's constant reinforcement and evidence of that, then we get stuck on that and we have a hard time shifting our attention away from that because it's too much present in our 3D reality. So if that's the case, can you get a break from that? Can you somehow get away from that constant reinforcement from your 3D reality? If you can, I highly recommend that for you. That will be beneficial so that you can focus your attention, your consciousness on your chosen, on your preferred reality. Okay, you guys, let's go to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 that I see a lot of people making when they're trying to manifest something different is tracking your progress by what is showing up in the 3D reality. This is not where you track your progress at all, at all, at all, at all. So sometimes we are judging that nothing is showing up, nothing different is showing up. So, I must not be doing it well. I must be failing somehow. Now, to some degree, if there's like a year going by or 2 years going by and nothing is showing up, then yes, I would say it's something to look at. But I'm not talking about a week or 2 weeks or even a month. That is a reasonable amount of time, and you need to persist and you need to dwell in your consciousness and you need to have faith that what you do in consciousness will get projected out. Okay. So I'm talking about the shorter time periods where people call nothing happened in a week, so maybe I'm doing it wrong. Your progress is not measured out there in your 3D reality where you can see something happening or not happening. It's also the case where people see something opposite showing up and they think the opposite showing up means that they're not doing something right. Actually, the opposite is true. Opposites oftentimes show up when you have been doing really well. Your reality is ready to shift, and here's your old assumption showing up so that you can pull the safety switch on your old reality and shift into the new reality, right? It's what I call the final safety switch. So again, this opposite thing showing up is actually evidence that you have been doing really well and your reality is ready to shift. It's getting the message, you've been persisting, everything is ready. They just need one final, the universe, your circumstances need one final go ahead from you. And so it'll throw out your old assumption and see what you do with it. Are you completely indifferent? If you are, guess what? Your doorway is opening to what you have been focusing on, your new intentions. It's right there. You can just walk right through the doorway into your new reality. Now, if you do something different, if you react, if you get re-triggered, then this is really how you measure your progress. It's your reaction to the things showing up that is showing you how you're doing, right? So the mistake, though, that I'm talking about here is measuring your progress according to what is showing up in your 3D reality. And again, the way I see people doing this incorrectly is nothing is showing up. They think they're doing something wrong. Opposites showing up. They think they're doing something wrong. So really, either way, it's not the things showing up or not showing up. It's what you are doing that is showing you how you're doing. You guys get my point here? So it's all about how you react to nothing showing. Nothing can be showing up. And as long as you persist, as long as you know your consciousness has to get projected out, if you persist, it has to show up. Nothing else is going on. Then lack of showing, something showing up doesn't bother you. And you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Likewise, if the opposite shows up and you can face the opposite and you are not phased, you know that's just your past assumptions showing up, you stay committed to your new preference, no problem. Your reaction is the barometer, it's the measuring stick on how you're doing and how your transformation, your journey is coming along. It is not what's showing up in your 3D reality. It's a very common mistake that I see people making. They judge themselves on what is showing up in the 3D reality. You do not have to do that. You do not have to do that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Mistake number 3. I feel like I'm hosting a game show here. Mistake number 3 is reacting to 3D circumstances. This is a very common mistake, similar to the last one, but not exactly. So reacting to your 3D circumstances means maybe you just have something show up and you're completely blindsided by the thing showing up and you completely react. You don't understand, opposites showing up. You don't understand the purge. You don't understand a lot, really, if you're reacting. And I'm not saying this in a judgmental way. I struggled a lot with reacting. And actually, it wasn't that I didn't understand. It was that I would forget. I would forget in the moment. I would get really involved in 3D reality and I would forget. And so I reacted a lot. And so it takes some practice, some awareness. It takes having an action plan too. That's really helpful. But this is a mistake that I see keeping people stuck. And the reason it keeps you stuck is because when you react to something showing up in your 3D reality, you are perpetuating that thing because your reaction sends an unspoken message that you really believe in this thing, right? You really believe that this thing is the real truth, whether that's just because you believe 3D reality is real, or it's because the thing you're reacting to in your circumstances is still very present in your belief system. It can be either one of those. Sometimes it's both, right? So you guys understand what I'm talking about. Let me use an example. You guys like it when I use examples. So Let's say you're manifesting more money and, you're working on your mindset, you're working on having an abundance mindset, having more money flowing into your experience. And actually, before you get more money in your experience, you actually get an unexpected bill or an unexpected, like, some kind of fine or something showing up in your reality, which seems to be the opposite of abundance. If you have a reaction to that, if you react negatively, if you react in a victim mode, you are solidifying your belief in lack, in scarcity, in, money leaves my experience. It doesn't come into my experience in abundance. You are enforcing and reinforcing that in your belief system. So this is an example of what reacting does. So you are not able to shift into a more abundant circumstance because you've just reacted to something that appears to be lack, and because you still believe in lack, you are now perpetuating that in your reality, and you can't actually shift into a more abundant experience because you just reacted to the lack. Likewise, if you got an extra fine or an extra bill show up and you were very calm and very relaxed and you still had this abundant mindset through the opposite showing up, then very quickly your reality would shift into more abundance automatically. This is the thing, you guys. What you see in your reality is it's a very low percentage of what is actually there. This is why you can experience a quantum shift by shifting your internal space. Everything is already there. So you don't have to live in this linear timeline of, I was here with no abundance, and to get over here to abundance takes X, Y, and Z. I don't know what X, Y, and Z is, but it doesn't take that unless you say it does, because everything already exists right now. So you want to keep this in mind. What we see is a very small fractional portion of what is actually here, what is actually already here, already existing, already available to you. And if you can start to expand your mind, expand your consciousness to include these things that you cannot see yet, that was number one, right? Number one mistake. Expand your consciousness beyond what you can currently see. Your reality can very quickly shift you into where what you're holding in your consciousness is now visible to you. It is now visible to you. And it didn't require this linear progression of moving time and space. So try to, release yourself from these things, these old habits of only moving linearly, step by step, whatever you think has to go along to the next destination. You're binding yourself to that. You don't have to do that. You can do that by freeing up your consciousness, by going in your consciousness to where it is you now choose to be, and not trying to move yourself one step at a time. That's not really manifesting. That's something different. That's action taking. That's planning. That's moving in the 3D reality, moving the pieces around, the physical reality around with your force and sheer will. That's not manifesting. Manifesting is, I'm here, let me hold in consciousness where I want to be, and trust and have faith that everything will be moved according to my consciousness. That's what manifesting is. So you're breaking the habit of doing things in this moving things in the 3D reality, taking action kind of way. And it is a habit that you have to break. You'll be very inclined to do things that way. You'll be very inclined to go back to that again and again. And you have to remind yourself, I'm doing something different. I'm building a new skill now. So it's okay to have that sort of back and forth within you, but just remind yourself, this is what I'm practicing now. I'm practicing moving things in my consciousness. I'm practicing the skill of manifestation. So in order to practice the skill of manifestation, let's go back over the mistakes that we're avoiding. Referencing what is in 3D primarily as what is. No, there's a whole other spectrum of what already is. You do not have to keep referencing what you can sense with your five senses. So don't make this mistake. Simply reference what you prefer to experience. Mistake number 2, tracking your progress by what is showing up. Your progress is not found in the 3D reality. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I want my stuff in 3D reality, Traci. You absolutely get to have it in 3D reality, but we're not tracking the progress. You can feel confident in your progress before you see any progress. Yes, you can. You have to know who you are. You have to know that you're the operant power. You have to know that your consciousness is the one creating. You have to know that nothing else is creating, right? And then you don't need to see things moving or not moving in order to know that you're making progress. Mistake number 3 that we're avoiding as we're honing these manifestation skills is reacting to 3D circumstances. So you don't have to react to 3D circumstances. When you do, you are actually perpetuating that unwanted circumstance, which is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. All right, you guys, so leave me a comment down below. Which one are you maybe still making the mistake of? Maybe you're not making any of these mistakes. I would love to hear about that as well. So leave me a comment down below on which one of these you feel like you might still be making. Maybe you've conquered all of them. I would love to hear about that as well. Also, leave me a thumbs up on this video if you found it helpful. It helps with the algorithm and gets this message out to more people so more people can master the art of manifesting, stop making these mistakes, and start to live more of an intentional, deliberate life as you're meant to be living. All right, you guys, that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.